I realized something was wrong when my reflection blinked before I did. It wasn't sudden. There was no sound, no sharp movement. It was just a detail, the kind you almost ignore. I was standing in the bathroom. The light above the mirror was dim, slightly yellow, never bright enough to feel real. The rest of the house was silent, not normal silence, heavier, like the air had been still for too long. I leaned forward a little, resting my hands on the cold sink. I remember looking at my face, paler than usual. My eyes looked tired, too deep. And then, it happened. My reflection blinked before me. It was quick, barely anything. Less than a second. But I felt it. I knew. It wasn't at the same time. I stayed still, didn't move, didn't blink, and then just staring, waiting for it to happen again. My breathing slowed down. Or maybe I just started noticing it. It sounded too loud in that silence, like it didn't belong there. I almost laughed. Quiet, dry, just tired. That's what I told myself as I said. And for a moment, that felt enough. But I couldn't look away. Something wasn't right. Not with the mirror, with me, or maybe with whatever was looking back at me. And that was the moment. The silence changed. Like I wasn't alone anymore. I was alone in the house. It was late. Late enough for everything to be quiet. Not normal quiet. Heavier. Deeper. Like sound itself had been taken away. The bathroom light was on. Dim. Flickering slightly. Barely noticeable. But I noticed. I always notice things like that. At night, the house felt different. Bigger. Emptier. Like there was more space than there should be. I stepped into the bathroom slowly. No rush. The floor was cold. I closed the door, carefully, quiet, and for a moment, I just stood there, listening. Nothing. Just my breathing. Slow, but too loud, like it was echoing inside me. I moved closer to the sink, turned the faucet on. The sound of water broke the silence, but it didn't help. It only made the silence feel deeper. When it stopped, I picked up my toothbrush. Routine. Automatic. Same movements. I looked at the mirror. My face was still there, but it felt distant, like it wasn't entirely mine. I stared for a few seconds. No reason. Just looking. The light above me flickered again. Quick, then steady. But I kept staring, not really knowing why. Maybe I was just tired. That's what I thought. And for a moment, that felt enough. I kept looking, without moving, without blinking, trying to ignore that feeling, that something wasn't right. And then, it happened again. This time, I saw it. My reflection moved, just before I did. Barely noticeable, almost nothing. But not the same time. I'm sure of that. My breath caught for a second, and the silence felt even heavier. I tilted my head slightly. Slow, careful, watching. In the mirror, he did the same. But a moment earlier, like he already knew what I was going to do. I froze, staring, trying to find a mistake, something to explain it. The light above me flickered again. Soft, unstable. Shadows shifted in ways they shouldn't. I stepped closer to the mirror, very slowly. My breathing was shorter now, shallow, and louder. Too loud, like it didn't belong to just me. I stopped, right in front of the glass, I looked directly into my eyes, waiting, not sure for what, and for a moment, nothing happened. Just me, just the reflection, still, silent, but wrong. Then, I blinked, and this time, there was no doubt. He blinked first, not after, before, and it didn't feel like a delay anymore. It felt like a decision, like whatever was in the mirror wasn't following me, just pretending to. I didn't step away. I couldn't. Something in me needed to keep looking, even knowing I shouldn't. I stayed there, still, trying to control my breathing, but it wouldn't settle. The air felt heavier now, harder to pull in, like the silence itself was taking up space. I swallowed, then made a simple movement. I raised my hand, slowly. In the mirror, he did the same, but not exactly. It was before. Again, always before. Like he was anticipating, or remembering. I held my hand in the air, and he stopped too, but something was off. The position, the angle, not identical. Too close to perfect, but not perfect. My breath faltered again, and for a moment, I felt something clear. I wasn't being copied. I was being followed. The light above me flickered, stronger this time. For a second, it almost went out. The shadows in the room shifted, or maybe I just thought they did. I didn't want to look, but I did. Behind me, there was nothing, just the dark hallway, still, empty. But when I looked back at the mirror, he was still looking behind me, not at me, at something, standing where I couldn't see. My body locked in place, and slowly, very slowly, he turned his head back before I did, and when our eyes met again, I knew, whatever that was, it wasn't trying to copy me. It was trying to look like it did. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. But I knew. I knew there was something behind me. Not a thought, not imagination. A feeling. Heavy. Too close. Like it was standing. Right there. My breathing became uneven. Slow, but not steady. And the sound wasn't just mine anymore. There was another one, almost in sync. Almost, but not quite. I closed my eyes for a moment, trying to calm down, trying to make it stop. But when I opened them again, my reflection was already looking behind me, directly, focused, like it could see clearly what I couldn't. My whole body tensed. A cold sensation climbed up my neck and slowly down my back. I felt it. Something right behind me, close enough to follow my breathing, or match it. I wanted to turn around, end it, see what was there, but something stopped me. A strange certainty that if I looked, there would be no going back. The reflection didn't look away. If anything, it stared harder. Its expression started to change. Slowly, the eyes wider, the tension growing, fear. It was afraid, before I was. And in that moment, I realized something. Maybe whatever was behind me wasn't looking at me. It was looking at him. I stepped away from the mirror, suddenly, without really deciding to, like something inside me was trying to protect me. I took a step back, then another, still watching the reflection until I felt the cold wall behind me. It was darker there, like the light didn't reach that far. I stopped, tried to take a deep breath, but the air still felt wrong. Heavy. I looked down. For the first time, I broke eye contact. I didn't want to see anymore. Didn't want to confirm anything. I focused on the floor, on anything that felt normal, but it didn't work. Because even without looking, I knew exactly where the mirror was. I knew it was still there, and I knew something was still happening inside it. I swallowed, took a small step to the side, trying to get out of its line of sight, trying to leave it behind. But the feeling came with me, close, too close, behind me, always behind me. My breathing stopped for a second, because I realized something. Even without looking, I could still picture it. Perfectly. Too clearly. Like it wasn't just memory. Like I was still seeing it. I shut my eyes tight, but that made it worse. Because now, I could see everything. The bathroom, the mirror, and him, standing there, not copying me, not moving, just waiting, like he knew I would look again, sooner or later. And in the middle of that silence, a thought came to me, one that didn't make sense, but wouldn't go away. The feeling that, even outside the mirror, I hadn't really left it. I didn't want to look again, but it didn't matter anymore, because I knew it wasn't going to stop. I stood there for a few seconds, trying to keep my eyes closed, like that would help, like not seeing it could protect me. But the feeling was still there, behind me, too close, breathing. I opened my eyes, slowly, without thinking, and turned my head back toward the mirror. At first, it looked normal, still, silent. My reflection, in the same place. But something was wrong. It took me a second to notice him. He didn't move with me. He was already looking. Before I finished turning, my body went cold. I raised my hand. Slow, very slow. And this time, he hesitated. A second. Too long. Then, he followed. But wrong. The movement wasn't exact. Close. Almost perfect. But not the same. The fingers weren't aligned. The angle, slightly off. Like he was trying to match it. Trying to get it right. My breathing became uneven. And the sound wasn't just mine anymore. I couldn't stop watching, because the longer I looked, the clearer it became. That thing wasn't copying me. It was adjusting, testing, correcting itself, like it was practicing how to be me. The light flickered again, stronger. For a moment, it almost went out. And in that brief darkness, I had the feeling he moved freely, completely. But when the light came back, he was there, still, looking at me, exactly like before. Only now, I knew, if the light went out completely, I wouldn't know anymore which one of us was on the wrong side of the mirror. I couldn't look away anymore, even if I wanted to, even knowing. This was getting worse, much worse. The air felt colder now, thicker, harder to breathe, like something was taking up too much space in the room. Between me and the mirror, I stayed completely still, watching, trying to understand. But there was nothing to understand, only that feeling, growing, wrong. Then, it happened. Slowly, without sound, without urgency, my reflection stopped looking at me and turned its head toward the space behind me. The movement was slow, controlled, like it had all the time in the world, like it knew I wasn't going to move. My heart started racing, but my body didn't react. I just watched, without blinking, as it stared directly at something standing where I couldn't see. Its expression began to change. First, confusion, then tension, and then fear, real fear, growing on its face before I even felt it. My breathing caught because I felt it too. At the same time, something moving closer, very slowly, right behind me, almost touching, almost, always almost. I didn't turn around. I couldn't, because the reflection wouldn't look away. If anything, it followed it, like whatever it was getting closer, 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 until it stopped. The reflection froze, eyes wide, locked on that exact point. And in that moment, I understood something. If I turned around, I would see it. And something inside me knew I was not supposed to see it. Not ever. I wasn't breathing right anymore. Or maybe I wasn't breathing at all. It was hard to tell. Everything felt distant, muted, except for that thing behind me. It was too close now. I could feel it, almost touching, almost, always, almost. The reflection kept staring, unblinking, frozen in place, like it was waiting or listening. Then it moved, slowly. My reflection raised its hand, but I didn't move. Not this time. My body went cold, because that wasn't a delay, not anticipation, not a mistake. It was a choice. It brought its hand closer to the glass, carefully, like it was testing something. The fingers pressed against the surface and stayed there. But something felt wrong. The distance, the pressure, like the glass, wasn't exactly where it should be. My breath came back suddenly, sharp, uncontrolled, and with it, another one. Closer, much closer, right behind me, near my ear, almost. The reflection reacted instantly. Its eyes widened, but not at me, at it. And then, very slowly, its lips started to move, like it was saying something, but there was no sound, nothing, just the motion, repeating, again and again, trying to warn me or beg me. I tilted my head slightly, without meaning to, trying to understand, trying to read it, but before I could, it stopped, completely still, and then its gaze shifted, not to me, but to a single point, just behind my shoulder, too close, close enough for me to feel it. Finally, something touched me, light, cold, barely there, but real. And in that exact moment, I understood. It wasn't the reflection that was wrong. It was seeing first. Always seeing first. I didn't think. I didn't decide. By the time I realized, I was already moving. Slowly, very slowly, I started turning my head, just a little, just enough to leave the mirror's angle, just enough to see, or almost see. But before I could finish, The reflection reacted, not with fear, not this time, with urgency, desperation. It lunged forward, suddenly, too fast, faster than anything before. Its hands slammed against the glass, hard, but there was no sound, none, just the impact, silent. Its eyes locked onto me. No, not me, something else, behind me, far too close. Its lips moved again, faster now, more intense, repeating the same thing, over and over, insisting, almost screaming, but still in silence. I froze, mid-turn, unable to move forward, unable to go back, because I understood, even without hearing, even without seeing it fully. I understood. It wasn't trying to get out. It wasn't trying to copy me. It was trying to stop me from turning. My breathing stopped, and the other one became clearer, closer, right against me. So close, on peaky, I could feel something lean in, toward my ear, slow, patient, like it had been waiting for this exact moment, for me. And in the mirror, for the first time, I saw the reflection look away, not behind me, not at me, but forward, directly at me, with an expression I had never seen before. I didn't finish fear, not something completely worse, but it was something final, enough to feel it like it knew, not with my eyes, it was already with everything else, with my body, with the air, with the silence. There was something there, too close, closer than it should be, and it wasn't empty. It never was. I stopped, my head slightly turned, caught between looking and not looking. My breathing wasn't just mine anymore. I knew that now. It came from behind me, slow, calm, too close, almost touching, almost, always almost. The mirror was still in my peripheral vision, just enough to see it. The reflection. It wasn't moving anymore. It wasn't trying to copy. It wasn't trying to warn me. It just stared directly at me with that same expression, heavy, tired, like it knew, like it had seen this before, with me or with others. I tried to take a deep breath, but the air stopped halfway because I felt it, something even closer now, near my face, almost touching, almost. And then, very slowly, I started to understand. The reflection was never ahead. Not really. It wasn't seeing the future. It was reacting before I could, because that thing wasn't behind me. It was moving toward me, and it could see it first, always first. I never turned all the way. I never looked completely, but sometimes, when I pass by a mirror, even without stopping, even without meaning to, I notice something, just for a second, barely anything. My reflection, looking at something, right behind me, and the expression never changes, like it's still waiting, waiting for the moment I finally decide to look. Since that night, I avoid mirrors. Not completely. That's impossible. They're everywhere. But I've learned not to look for too long. Never directly. Never in silence. Always quick. Always passing by. Like that still makes a difference. Like that still matters. Sometimes even then, I feel it. That same presence. Subtle. Still. Behind me. always behind me. At first, I thought it was just memory, a leftover feeling, something from that night. But it isn't. It never was. Because sometimes, when I pass by a dark mirror, or a window, or anything that can reflect, I see it. Just for a second. Barely anything, but enough. The reflection, not following me, not exactly, slightly off, slightly wrong. And sometimes, when I'm not ready, when I forget, when I look for just a little too long, I notice something else. It doesn't look surprised anymore, not scared, not desperate. It looks used to it, tired, like it already knows. There's no point trying to warn me. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is that sometimes, for a brief moment, I get this feeling that it's not looking behind me anymore, but directly at me, like it's waiting for me to understand, or remember, or maybe, like there's no difference anymore between what's here and what stayed on the other side. And when that happens, when that thought crosses my mind, even for a second, I do the only thing I still can. I look away, immediately, without thinking, because deep down, I still know. If I ever look long enough, if I really stare, without blinking, without turning away, without pretending it's nothing, I will see it. And this time, it won't be just the reflection.